So the experiments that I've shown you here are just the beginning. There's so many other things you can do with the Arduino. And in fact, there's a lot you can do with the components that you already have. Let's take a look. We have a few different input devices. We have the potentiometer, we have the photoresistor, and then we have various output devices. We have a speaker, we have a servo motor, we have an LED. So how could we combine these things? One thing that we didn't do, but you can probably figure out a way to do pretty easily just by tweaking some of the sketches that are in Arduino, is controlling the servo using a photoresistor. So that we did it with a potentiometer. Maybe you can use the photoresistor to do that. Or how about using the potentiometer to control the tone of the speaker? If you want to get really ambitious, you could use the photoresistor to control the pitch of the speaker, the potentiometer to control the volume. So you could actually have a theremin-like device where you have both volume and pitch controllable with your fingers with two different kinds of input devices. You might want to combine the LED with the servo so that the blink rate indicates the location of the servo's rotor is. So you can really mix these up and do a lot of things. So the one thing that I didn't show you because we just didn't have time is actually how to write and modify the sketches or the programs in the Arduino development environment. I have a book that is really a great way to get started with this kind of stuff. And it is called Getting Started with Arduino. It's written by Massimo Bonzi. He's the co-creator of the Arduino. He developed the Arduino in Italy. He's actually a designer. He's not an engineer. So the book is filled with really lovely sketches that he has drawn himself, showing you how to use the Arduino, how to write simple programs, how to modify them. And so I recommend this book. It's not expensive. You can get it as a PDF and download it and get it right away, or you can order it online. The other way to learn about programming is if you go to arduino.cc, they have a lot of examples of code and how to get started. And that's really the best way to do it, is to actually have that code there, copy and paste it into sketches, experiment with it, change it, play around with it. This class, I showed you the hardware and how to hook things up, use the solderless breadboard and all those things so that you're comfortable with using the physical hardware stuff. The best way to learn the programming is really to go online and start looking at other people's code. And the cool thing about Arduino is that it is so popular that there are examples of almost anything you can imagine for uploading programs. Any application you can imagine, there's probably an Arduino program that someone has written that all you need to do is modify a little bit. I've used other people's Arduino codes for a lot of projects that I've worked on, and it's a great way to quickly get up to speed. The next thing to do is come up with more complex projects. I have an example of one that I did in my Skillshare class. That's the Getting Started in Do-It-Yourself making. And so let me grab that right now. This is my Arduino-powered peanut butter mixer. And as I explained in my other Skillshare class, the Introduction to DIY, the reason that I built this is because I like to make peanut butter sandwiches for my kids before they go to school in the morning. And one of the problems is that when I buy this natural peanut butter, there's always a lot of oil at the top of the peanut butter jar. And when I'm stirring it, the oil sloshes all over everything and it makes a big mess. Well, I found a website on, it's called the Wired How-To Wiki. And there was this guy who talked about how he learned how to mix peanut butter by simply taking a jar of peanut butter and flipping it every 24 hours. You would just put it upside down and then right side up once every 24 hours. And that does a pretty good job of mixing the peanut butter. And I thought it would be fun to automate that process. So I ended up making this peanut butter stirrer, which I go into more detail in my other class, but I thought maybe we could could take a look at it here and give you an idea of how it works. And so you can see it just sits there, and in 24 hours it will rotate 180 degrees and tip the peanut butter over, and that way the oil goes down to the bottom and slowly raises its way up to the top. I'll just reset it so you can see it do its thing again. And so it's a fun little thing, and there are literally thousands and thousands of other projects people have made with Arduino. The variety is mind-boggling. So just go online, type in Arduino projects. You're going to find a ton of cool projects. I hope you have fun with Arduino. Please go into the commenting section of this Skillshare class and tell me what you are interested in building, what you've built. I'll try to help as much as I can. I'm really curious and excited to see what you've built, and thank you so much for spending this time with me.